Hello and welcome. The goal of this podcast is to get listeners connected with others in the sports industry because they say it's all about who you know, and now you know us. All right, everybody, here we go. We're on to another episode of the Constant Sports Podcast. We have a host, your favorite guest, Salvatore Caprita, joining us. What's going on, Sal?
Not much. How you doing, Connor? I always enjoy the joining the podcast, and I'll tell you what, the attire you've got on today is you've outdone yourself per usual.
Oh, thank
That's a
you.
good looking shirt.
Yep. It always helps to have a lady friend, wife in your corner who dresses you and make sure you're looking good day in and day out. So shout out to the missus there. Let's just jump right into it. Sal, the sports world's buzzing as usual. What's top of mind for you? What's going on in your universe?
Gosh, as you said, the sports industry never stops. I feel like it just keeps on growing and keeps on speeding up, to be honest with you. But just diving into everything we've got going on here in the high school space, it's kind of slowed down based on the calendar, obviously. But with that being said, dead period is ending for most schools, and just as quick as the summer break ends the school year will begin, and soon enough we'll be back in the championship. So that's what we got going on our end here.
And I feel like baseball fans really get into baseball. Like,
Yes.
okay, the season starts in like March or something, but you still kind of got the tail end. Football obviously just ended a month before, so everyone's kind of in a depression because of that. Then you got the
Right.
NBA's kind of kicking in. A few other sports are rocking and rolling. Then summer's kind of time where I feel like the MLB, you start to actually follow along with your team, see what's going on. I know your Yankees are a bit of a skid.
Don't
Worst
want to
worst
talk about
record
it.
of the MLB in the past 20 something games, but
Don't want to talk about it.
the boys are gonna have to get hot. So that's good to hear.
Well, I'll tell you what, Connor. As you're well aware, being a Padres fan, no World Series are won in July. So let's just take it back a step. It's a long season, but yeah, no, it's been a tough stretch being a Yankees fan. The hope is still there. We'll get it together, but I think your analysis on the MLB and kind of the sports world in general is right on it, especially when you talk about Fourth of July. We've got
Yep.
All-Star break coming up, and we've got some exciting stuff, especially some young players that are starting to make their mark, specifically the pitcher in Pittsburgh,
Yep. Mr.
rookie year.
Skeens.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he was just announced as the NL starting pitcher for the
Yep.
All-Star.
Yep,
So
that's right.
that's pretty special.
Yeah, he's really so before I think he's 6-0 now, something like
Mhm.
that. I mean, our center fielder for the Padres was, bam, he was right there at the top of the list, rookie of the year contender, and all of a sudden Mr. Skeens decides to, be one of the best pitchers of all time. And so unfortunately, I don't think that award's coming to San Diego. If I mean, if he just keeps on this pace, he's 6-0. He's got like a 2 something ERA, went 7 innings yesterday or 2 days ago, no hit. Took him out because they're trying to, take it easy on the arm. 99 pitches. That's going to be tough to beat. I'm not going to lie. That's going to be real tough to beat.
I was gonna say, this guy is a robot.
Yeah.
You're throwing 100 plus, and he can put the ball wherever he wants to put the ball.
Yep.
He's a dangerous man, as we're well aware from the College World Series, watching him take his LSU Tigers all the way there
Hmm.
a couple years ago. He's stepping up right where he left off,
Yep.
and it's been fun to watch, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. And I feel like, the younger stars is always good for any sport, obviously, to get that younger audience in and kind of, engage them. And the I guess speaking of engagement and media, we saw the NBA locked in their 11-year, $76 billion, I believe it was 76, 78, something like that, $1 billion media rights deal, which, that's going to increase the player salaries for, you know, the foreseeable future going forward.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Connor. I saw a stat on the social media. It was a funny breakdown. Justin Jefferson just became the highest non-quarterback in the NFL,
Yep.
and they compared he's making the same
I was
salary
Jordan Poole.
as Jordan Poole,
Yeah, yeah, I saw that too. He's
48th
like
best NBA
48.
player.
Yep,
It's and obviously for me, just kind of I've been a numbers guy, so I understand. Okay, there's less NBA players. It makes sense. Like
of course.
you've got a 53-man roster in the NFL. You've got, I believe it's a 15, maybe 12-man
The
roster in
G
the
League, and they got the two-way
yeah.
contracts and whatnot, so you can kind of
Yeah, yeah. So totally understand, but it's just wow. I mean, if you've got a younger kid, basketball is clearly the way to go at this point.
No, yeah, and I was just looking up Major League Sports kind of revenue. I mean, NFL's going to be king, I believe,
Of
with the
course.
revenue,
Hmm.
but I think NBA is second, so it makes sense. And I feel like just going down the streaming rights route. I don't know if you saw this, but it was to be like an NFL fan and watch every game, you need like six or seven. It's like Peacock, you need Amazon, you need ESPN, you need
Correct.
obviously NFL Red Zone if you're trying to watch every game. There's another one I couldn't remember. I don't know if you remember, but it was like something
Mhm.
crazy, like six or seven streaming device, like accounts, networks to use to watch all your team's games, which is nuts.
It's truly crazy, but just along those lines, I'm sure you're well versed with your background similar to mine and kind of the little situation they've got themselves in with the Sunday ticket
Mm,
and potentially paying out a lot. Now, flip side of that, interested to see how that plays out. But what are they going to now do with that all in the background? Are they going to keep it? What are they going to do with this upcoming year? Because then not only there's going to be a millions of people waiting on the result of what happens from the previous way of handling Sunday ticket, but now in the future, if it impacts them, they're going to be ready to sue just as quick.
yeah, I don't know. I think yeah, I don't know. It'd be like you said, it'd be interesting. I'm sure. I think that keep it to I don't know. Yeah, that's tough. Okay,
Right.
because it's kind of a double-edged sword there. But I don't know. There's
Well,
you know,
allegedly, the way it's being set and being sold, excuse me, is over making the consumer, the day-to-day person, overpay to watch all the games, and
mm,
vice versa, where they're really getting the double-edged sword is the businesses, the Buffalo Wild Wings,
right, the venues
the
and whatnot for the amount of
yes,
games.
yes. So it I don't know. We'll be interested to see what happens.
Yeah, I think personally, I just think we went from like having either like cable or whatever you watch other games. I
Hmm.
mean, 20, 30 years ago, you had like two channels or whatever, and now you
Correct.
got 89 channels to watch sporting events. Like I feel like it's got to come in house, and we're basically just going to kind of reinvent the wheel. I don't know. Like someone's just going to
Correct.
have to take it over and do it. But then, you got these media right deals where like Amazon has, whatever it is, Thursday Night Football. You got ESPN, they got Monday Night Football. I mean, college football playoff. They're throwing their name in the ring to get rights and coverage for certain games in the college football playoff. And that's 12 games now, or 12 teams rather. So, I feel like they're just making it, they're going deeper and deeper. So maybe they just kind of continue down that road.
Yeah, no, totally agree.
But it'll be interesting to watch. And as we are in the summer months, we got the Olympics coming up here, 2024 Olympics down there in Paris.
It's correct.
We're just looking at some Olympic men's basketball odds here. The
Talk to me.
USA is minus 500. And then you got Canada, France, Serbia. So Canada's plus 1100, France plus 1400, Serbia plus 1500, and then Greece, Germany, Australia. But strong start for the USA there, opening out the gates.
There's no doubt this team should win gold. Now, with that being said, I do have my reservations, my fear that this team is getting over their heads.
Well, I think
And
so.
I do. I really do. I think they're rolling in like they're unbeatable, da da da, all that kind of stuff, which is great, and they should be. However, there is a lot of talent outside the United States
Yep.
in the sport of basketball. I'm well aware with being a Nuggets fan, my top players are playing for Serbia and Canada.
Hmm.
So uh, we'll see what happens. As long as the boys focus up, defend the homeland, we're going to be just fine.
Yep. And I'm with you. And I'm just running through so 2020 USA won, 2016, 2012, 2008, 2004 Argentina won, then 2000, 96, 92, all United States. So they have a decent track record. But as you're alluding to, these outside countries, France, Canada especially, strong talent coming out of there. Looking here at the pool. So Group A, Group B, Group C. Group A is Australia, Canada, Greece, and Spain.
Oof.
Group B is Brazil, France, Germany, Japan. Group C is Puerto Rico, Serbia, South Sudan, and the United States.
I like our chances.
Yeah. Group A seems tough though.
Group,
Spain, Greece, Canada, and Australia. That's that's kind of a murderer's row there.
I totally agree.
So we'll see. I mean, Canada's got the second best odds to make it or to win the championship, but I feel like they're in the hardest bracket there. So it'll be interesting to see. I guess I mean I'd probably take obviously United States there. I think
Oh yeah.
kind of dominant force you could say. So get that off to the races. What are you looking forward to any other summer sport, summer event?
Well, yeah, no, I truly love the Olympics. I think it's great to compete at the international level, excuse me. I always love the swimming events. I'll tell you what, did you see the background for the volleyball?
Up against the Eiffel Tower there.
Yep. I
Yep.
mean, you can't really beat that view, can you?
That's a good looking view there. It's a good looking setup. I was interested to see, because obviously Paris been around for forever. Like when you have these
Hmm.
older countries, they're all just so tight, compact. Everything's kind of built up, the cities and city
Correct.
structure. To
Hmm.
then come in. Now you got these venues and stadiums and traffic flow. I think is fascinating. So that's I mean great spot. I don't know where else you'd put it, but I mean just right there, smacks right in the middle.
That's a great point. The logistics behind the Olympics is no joke, and just not skipping over this one because there's a lot going on. Excited to watch it. Track and field, I forgot to mention as well. Love all the track and field events.
Mhm,
But when you're talking about the Olympics coming back in 2026,
mhm.
or excuse me, 2028,
Yep.
yep, to LA and the logistics that's going on there. It's
Oh yeah.
fascinating because obviously there's so many different events, and depending on where the venue is for them will be where it is. Like the United States, I mean, they're going to be traveling hours.
Oh yeah.
Like it's
Have to
not
be.
just all in LA.
Yep.
And excuse me, if it is, I mean, you're talking if it what if it like there's an event in San Francisco and then San Diego. I mean,
Mhm.
that's 8 hours.
That's a good yeah, it's a good chunk of time
Yeah.
yeah, to be moving around and go from point A to point B. But it'll yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have to build some, like I said, well in Greece, I know, and they did a few years ago, they put in a metro station like for it, and then obviously it stayed there. So I feel like stuff like that.
Yes.
But in LA and I'm not, I don't, there's not we don't
I
no
I have no
metros,
idea how they're
earthquakes,
going
so
to
you
do it.
can't do underground
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Musk is trying to do that underground tunnel and whatnot, but I don't know how well that's going currently.
Still waiting for that, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, anything that to make traffic out here not exist, put me on. Sign me up. I'm in.
Sign you up.
Yeah.
All
But
righty.
yeah, up until then, not sure. But speaking of waiting until things happen and kind of future, we have ran a poll the other day
Here we
on
go.
our Constant Sports page. Just interested to see which sport league will have the highest revenue growth in the next 5 years. So we put up English Premier League, NFL, Indian Premier League. Been seeing a lot of stuff about the Indian Premier League and the eyeballs that are driven over there in India and cricket and whatnot, things along those lines. So I thought I'd toss
100%.
that in there. And then what was another one we did? But the had about 100 or so viewers on the platforms or whatnot. It came out to the NFL with the highest revenue with these sports. Like I said, we've been over this before. NFL's king, but we have gone back and forth on some different polls and gotten the viewers' thoughts about putting a team overseas. Would be
Right.
interesting. I know there's a lot of logistics, but I mean, at some point, I feel like someone's going to try it. I don't know what league. I've heard a lot of baseball, putting a team in Mexico City, something like that. But
Yeah.
then you got the elevation, everyone's just hitting dingers, so
Hmm.
things like that. But it'll be interesting to see which team, obviously the NBA. I mean, I guess I'm not counting Canada as international because it's just a little bit too close. I'm talking like
Right.
off the continental grid there, like overseas, somewhere like that.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. Based off of logistics and everything, I've always said I do anticipate it to happen based off of obviously all the games. I did see a little bit ago the London is calling for a Super Bowl. They want the Super Bowl in
Really?
London at some point. So be interested to see if we ever get to that point. Um, I think Mexico City, Mexico would be the first country to have a team outside the US. Just logistically,
Hmm.
it makes more sense and kind of easier with the travel and time change there. But however, I mean, just depending on how well the fans in Europe gravitate
Mhm.
towards the NFL as there's more games being played there. Obviously, the feedback has been resounding. However, it's got to be enough to where, okay, the money's just too good not to pass up.
Yep. Well, and that makes me think of you talk about money in the NFL here. The NFL is open to private equity team ownership of up to 10%. So that made me think, say you have a private equity company, which team are you putting your money in?
Right. No, exactly. I mean, you're getting to the point, and exactly like because the value of sports and especially sports teams and everything has grown so much, that's what it's going to be. And then teams are start going to make decisions. Okay, how can just like a corporation,
Mhm.
how can we make moves strategically to get people to want to invest in us? So
Yep.
do you want to invest all your money in Jacksonville? Is that enough big enough city to get some enough attraction to where you're going to have positive revenue? What
Right.
about London? You have the team based in London. Do you now have enough eyeballs, enough people to generate, okay, I want to invest some money there because of the possibilities and the extension of being able to make some more revenue?
Or take a look at this. So, average team value, it's got NFL, NBA, MLS.
Hmm.
Starting in 2014, then it's a 10-year, obviously up to now,
Yeah.
2024.
Yep.
So we've got the NFL, the average team value in 2014 was $1.2 billion.
Mm,
Average team value in 2024, $5.1 billion.
that'll work.
NBA was 634 million to now 3.8 billion.
Whew.
MLB 811 million to 2.4 billion. MLS 154 or 157, excuse me, million to 678. So that's triple digit 325% increase for the NFL, 499% increase for the NBA, 196% increase for the MLB, and 336% increase for the MLS.
Oh yeah, you can tell. I mean, people love sports, they're gravitating towards it, and the value and money is speaking for itself. You're talking to the point now, like there's only a select few people that can buy these teams now,
Mhm.
and they're at a point where obviously these guys may not necessarily want to buy it. So now people are putting groups together. It takes a
Yep,
group
has
to
to.
buy a sport team now.
Yep. Well, and I feel like the group kind of concepts, you obviously get, depending unless you're like a Walmart guy, you can get a little bit more coin in, get a little bit more involved, get different,
Correct.
opinions, which I think is like Tom Brady's been in a few of these and different athletes, like NBA guys or I mean, as long as you're getting athletes, different opinions, like this is what I think would be a good idea. This is, maybe not, let's do this, let's do that.
Right.
If there were a team to invest in, league, I guess you could pick a league or a team. What team are you investing in today
Oh,
for
that's a
the
great
next 10 years?
question. That's a great question. Mm,
I was thinking about it. I mean,
hmm.
it's hard to go against kind of the major markets. It'd be hard to go against any of the
Yep.
New York teams or like a Dallas
Uh-huh.
Cowboys.
Right.
Just because I mean, you're already up 300%. Those are the big
Right.
media markets. You're seeing the most eyeballs. You're getting the most attendance. Like the New York Jets and Giants were not very good last year, and they were like second and third or fourth in the league in attendance. So,
Well,
you
no,
know,
I totally agree with you. And you've got to be, it's got to be a big market. But I always think about, especially when you ask that question, okay, the Golden State Warriors effect.
hmm
San Francisco, big city, so it was just perfect timing. Then you have the tech boom, so a lot of the tech people are like, okay, I get all that, but then it's like their dominance, they're winning, their Steph Curry
it's
and all
true.
their success. I mean, that team skyrocketed, and now it's probably it's if not, it'll be right. It's got to be top three: Lakers, Celtics, Golden State Warriors value.
hmm
So how can I find a team that's in, like you're saying, you got to be in a big market, but is going to win and start to bring some attention to it? So I mean, probably would be Boston's already as a perennial winner, but with their team, I don't see how they don't keep winning and keep getting value. I like the Braves, just business wise. I've always liked the Braves. They are savvy with their business. Um, those would be the two that jumped to my head at this point.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's as much as I hate to say it, yeah, Yankees are probably going to be a no-brainer for me. They haven't
Right.
won in I don't know, a few years, but I feel like the market's there. They always paid the best players. They're kind of turning over. They've had first, second place finishes, haven't quite got over the hump, but I feel like eventually they will. And then kind of that dominant role of,
Right.
you know, massive media market. You're signing Aaron Judge, the best and biggest players. I mean, originally I was going to say the Padres, but they're only showing town. So it's like I feel like that sports market, San Diego's pretty transient. Everyone likes to go to the beach and not, 10
Well,
toes down and do a team. So
but exactly, but the market's there. San
yep,
Diego, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, probably a lot of people are moving there. It's a destination. It's not as crowded as LA. There's still a bunch to do. They just need a winner.
yep,
San Diego just needs a winner. If the Padres could win one or two of these things, their value is going to skyrocket.
you got that right.
That's all the people of San Diego are waiting for.
Hey, that's all we're asking for.
Correct.
We had it in the Chargers, San Diego Chargers, until you stabbed us in the back, shipped them to LA.
But they didn't
We're
win
here.
nothing,
No, we're ready to rock and roll though. I
right?
mean, we just need to light that match and boom goes the powder keg. I mean, we're third in attendance, even it last year when we were supposed to be good and we sucked. The year before that when we took down the Dodgers in the NLCS, then we ran into a bus out of the Phillies. I mean, it's there. We just gotta put together get some winnings.
Agreed. I got two underrated teams that I would invest in, NFL teams. Detroit Lions, if
Okay.
they can continue what they're doing, and the Chicago Bears.
See the Bears, that's interesting because I had the same thought. Yeah,
Yes, they've
fascinating.
got a young roster. It'll take them a couple years or so, but they could be a perennial winner. And
Yep,
then what else? They've got a new stadium coming up,
yep.
Waterside View. I mean, Chicago's a great place to be. People are gonna love it. So I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be shocked if the Chicago Bears start to get some attention here shortly.
Yep, great thought. Great thought there. And that does kind of staying in the NFL realm. That reminded me where is it? The Receiver is now Netflix's #1 TV show in the country. I believe it's only been out for like a day or two.
Have you tuned into
I
anything?
could I haven't watched it yet. I mean I've seen the intro clips of it, but yeah, I haven't seen the particular. Have you?
I've dove into it a little bit here. I'll tell you what, it's pretty cool. I'm a
Yeah.
big advocate for the behind the scenes content.
Yep.
Similarly with the Hard Knocks and the Giants offseason. First of all, I can't believe the Giants signed up for that.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially with what they were going on or going through. I mean, it's kind of hard to, hindsight, you didn't know how that was going to, transpire. I mean, I'm giving them the
they know
benefit of
what
the
goes
doubt.
on behind doors. People don't. It's funny because, like, not saying I've known about it or seen it, all that kind of stuff, but just I'm growing up within the sports and kind of being an athlete, you understand those are the conversations that happen. And I
Yeah.
grew and grandfather and father, both coaches, so understand like that's the conversations that happen. So like people getting to see it, it's funny how they just, oh my gosh, they blow up, da da, like so oblivious, like acting like that don't happen. I just can't believe the Giants allowed it to get out.
True.
There's going to be a lot of clips, especially once old Philadelphia Eagles and Saquon Barkley rolled up.
Yep.
There's going to be some receipts had on that one.
hmm No doubt about it. Is there, well, I feel like it was, no franchise tag, didn't let them hit the streets and let them test the market, which is, I feel like always a dangerous game to begin with. But is there, I guess as we wrap up here in the next few minutes, is there either a topic, a show, something that sports wise that you're keeping your tabs on for the listeners and viewers that they should stay tuned with?
Good question. I think continuing on with Hard Knocks, they've got a lot coming up because what are they going to do? They're going to do who's the training camp team?
Ravens or is that
I
season?
thought I think it's the Bears, to be honest.
Yeah, that
I
seems about right.
I could be wrong. However, they did Giants off season. They're doing potentially the Bears
Yep, Giants and
training
Bears.
camp.
Yep,
And then they're doing the AFC North division
yep,
in season.
yep.
They're really stepping it up now because everyone's enjoyed Hard Knocks, but it got stale the past couple years.
hmm
Now with kind of their mix up here and the way they're doing some things, very interested to see what they continue going on.
Yep, no doubt. I've been interested in the F1 behind or Drive to Survive, I think it
Of
is.
course,
Another
of
interesting
course.
league that's kind of taken off.
Yes.
They're doing a bunch. They got the movie coming out here in I think it's next year with Brad Pitt. So
Mr. Brad Pitt.
yeah, they're
Yes.
they're cranking out content and content's how you get into people's getting eyeballs, get in the media. So I think
It's about everything.
any behind the scenes, I'm in. I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's cool. People like to see it. People like to see the raw motion. I like to see the human on the other side of it. So that's good for business. And I'm sure everyone will keep doing it. I will say, do you think the MLB could pull something like this off before you go?
Ooh, good question. Season is too long. No one
Playoff run,
really
possibly. It have to be a playoff run, wouldn't it?
you've dialed right on exactly what it's got to be because like I said, season's too long. Spring training is not as intense
Hmm.
because I know there's some
Yeah.
people playing for roster, but it's not as intense as the NFL.
Hmm.
The playoff run, I got goosebumps
Yeah.
going
That
down my
would be,
back right now, imagining a playoff run mic'd up behind the scenes of a playoff run.
you'd need it. Yeah. Maybe, you know what?
I'll tell you what, maybe we need to go ahead, get the execs at HBO, Showtime, get them on our line, say, hey, we got something for you.
I was just gonna say, any listeners and viewers out there, you got our email. Let's put something together. Let's get a pitch deck out there, and let's get this running. Little maybe Omaha production, somebody
There
behind
you
the
go.
scenes, MLB playoff run. Let's make it happen. So Sal, it's always a pleasure for you joining us today and talking sports, talking business. Any parting words before we go?
Nope, glad to be here. Good chat.
Good to hear. So thanks again for listening to viewers. Another episode of the Constant Sports Podcast, and thanks for joining. We'll see you guys next time.